Well, hello and a warm welcome to my latest video. I'd like to start off by saying, first of all, a big thank you to everybody who has made comments on some of my previous videos, including the one who described me as an opinionated bore, and the one who described me as a typical old fart and said I should get back to crown bowls. I'm not sure what crown bowls is, so if any of you know, please let me know. But I am proud to be an opinionated bore and a typical old fart. So if there's any other typical old farts out there who want to join me in a new political party, which I'm going to call Boring Old Farts. Yes, Boring Old Farts, and we're going to clean up. We're going to pick up all those Tory voters who've got nowhere to go except to vote for the Boring Old Farts. So sign up now. It only costs you £10. You can pay via PayPal. There's a link up there. Or you can just send me the money and you can find my address through the usual channels. Now, what are we doing today? We're doing another unboxing. Only this time, look at the size of this bastard. This is a massive box. Now, you might well think. By the way, before I get into that, I wanted to say a big thank you. Yeah, I started off saying this, didn't I? And then I lost my thread. I keep on losing my thread. Not a good sign. I want to say a big hello to Michael S. I'm not sure where Michael S is from, but he was kind enough to leave a comment on one of my videos. He said English was not his native language, but he was learning English and he found it quite useful to learn English by watching my videos. So he asked me if I could speak a little bit slower. So I'm speaking a little bit slower and I'm enunciating clearly. So Michael S, I hope you find this video beneficial. My videos, incidentally, have been used by the British Council for hundreds of years to teach English to people in other countries. So the world is full of people who have very good English but can only talk about bicycles and the occasional film review. So what is in Julian's big box? It's from Treads, by the way. Treads is an online, yes, I am joining the Yanks. I'm joining the ranks of the youngsters and ordering stuff online via Tinternet. It's an amazing system. So if any of you boring old farts out there haven't yet discovered Tinternet, as we call it here in West Wickham, it is a system that allows you to buy stuff without a computer. Yes, you just tap in on your desk what you want, and it gets delivered magically, almost magically. Now I'm going to take this out rather quickly because, guys and gals, in this, oh, scrap that. I didn't mean to say what I just said, so I'm going to cut that. These are, God, they're big, aren't they? My God, look at the size of these fuckers. These are what we in England or Great Britain, possibly Canada, possibly Australia, possibly former countries of the Commonwealth, including Barbados, Bermuda, Jamaica, lots of English-speaking countries, called mudguards. But in the US of A, where many of my viewers are from, they're called Fenders. And I thought you might like to know why they're called Fenders. They were developed originally back in the 1740s, when the British Army used to transport their gun carriages around the world so they could indulge in battles and defeat the enemy. But the Duke of Wellington, who was in charge of all of our armies for the last 100 or so years, wasn't happy about the wheels on his gun carriages getting dirty. And so they invented, and it was a gentleman called Mudguard, funnily enough. Jedediah Mudguard was his name, came from Nottingham. And he devised these things, which they called mudguards after him, to protect the wheels of the gun carriages. But when the Pilgrim Fathers went over to the United States on the Mayflower, and they had their mudguards with them, they met a man in Boston by the name of Fender. His name was Rupert Fender, brother of John Fender, who went on to develop a number of electric guitars. Anyway, Rupert Fender liked the Mudguards, but he stole the idea. So instead of them calling them Mudguards, he called them Fenders after himself, and that is why the Americans call them Fenders. By the way, as a little aside, when I talk about people from the United States, I tend to refer to them as Americans, but I notice that a lot of Americans seem to refer to themselves as from the state that they are from. They say, I'm a Texan. Texan. Is that a Texan accent? Or I'm a Californian. Or I'm a what do they say? You say, where are you from, dude? And they say, I'm from Kentucky. But they never say I'm a Detroitian, do they? If you are from Detroit, do you say to people, not Detroit, Illinois? Do you say I'm an Illinoisian? Do you say that? Or do you say I'm a New Yorker, but do you say I'm a Massachusettsian? Do you say that? Do you say I'm a Louisianan? I'm an Oregonian? Anyway, that's probably enough of that. But if you know the answer, please let me know, because I would not like to offend many of my viewers from the United States. These are, as I say, Mudguards that you people in America know as Fenders, for the reason that I just explained. And the reason why these are so big, these Mudguards, is that I'm going to put these on my Fairlight Seacan gravel bike. And my Fairlight Seacan gravel bike, as some of you may know, has got 40mm wide tyres. Now, can you see how wide those Mudguards are? I think you can see how wide those Mudguards are. And the reason they are so wide, obviously, is because if the Mudguards were narrow, but I had a fat tyre, and on my fat tyred bike, the tyres are about 1 metre wide, so I can ride over snow and sand and the roads that we have in Kent. So if you have Mudguards that are less than the width of your tyre, then obviously all the mud is just going to come up from the side of the wheel and splash you in the face, and if somebody is riding behind you, it's going to splash them in the face, and they're not going to be very happy about it. So it's very important, if you're new to cycling, that the Mudguards, or the Fenders, as we said, that you buy for your bike are wider than your tyres. So these are pretty sizable Mudguards. These are made by a company called Bluemels, Bluemels, and I think they are a German company. They're a German company, also known as SKS. So this one is for the rear wheel, or the rear rear wheel, and this one is for the front wheel, and they look pretty sturdy, don't they? I won't do a video about attaching them to the bike, partly because the last time I tried to put some Mudguards on a bike, it took me ages, and in the end I was forced, I tell you, by circumstance, to read the instructions. The only trouble was I read the instructions after I decided that these struts as they're called, these steel struts, which are quite thick steel and quite difficult to cut, and I cut them because I thought I'd put the Mudguards on properly, so I cut the struts in what I thought was the right place, and then I went up and I read the instructions, and it said, do not under any circumstances, whatever you do, cut the struts before you have properly fitted the mudguards. So now I have on one of my bikes a set of mudguards with 2 short struts. And you do not want to be in the position of a boring old fart and have 2 short struts. The reason I was slightly distracted there is a piece of cardboard, you can't see this obviously, but a piece of cardboard had slipped down inside the box. So I will fit these mudguards on the bike and I'll come back and I'll show you the finished item. Don't go away. Well, here you are, and you join me at the bike, and it's remarkably only about 20 minutes or half an hour since I started to put the mudguards on, possibly because I've done this before and rather messed it up, but did learn from the experience, folks. It's always a good idea to learn from the experience. But as you can see, here are the mudguards fitted. This is the rear wheel of the Fairlight Seacan, and yep, they are on there quite nicely, and oddly enough the wheel actually turns. Normally when I put mudguards on, that's the end of the turning wheel, but I'm pretty pleased with my handiwork. So these are the SKS Bluemels Mudguards. These are, I think these are the 45mm width, so I'm using them on IRC Boken 40mm tyres, not tubeless, as I'm sure you'll understand why. And I'll be going out for a ride. Obviously I don't ride in the rain, but it's nice to have mudguards on anyway. So hope you enjoyed that little introduction, that little unboxing of the SKS Bluemels Mudguards. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.